Hey everybody, I'm Carissa Wright, Broker Associate at Beach City Brokers here in Redondo Beach. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about what I think the pros and cons of living on the Palos Verdes Peninsula are. I get this question all the time. I have tons of clients who are relocating here either to the beach cities in the South Bay or to PV, or possibly either from the beach cities up to PV. That is a transition that happens very often. And so a lot of the same questions tend to come up. So I have put together my list of pros and cons for you. But first, if you haven't already, please hit subscribe. Each week releasing new videos about both the beach cities in the South Bay and PV. So now let's go ahead and dive in. The first thing that I think is really, really important is that you actually get more bang for your buck when it comes to your home in PV. Now, what does that mean? Let's start with the fact that I am talking about all of PV in this video. So we're talking about Palos Verdes Estates, Rancho Palos Verdes, Rolling Hills, and Rolling Hills Estates. I am collectively talking about the entire peninsula. So in the past 6 months, average sales price for a single family home between these four cities was $2,650,000. Now this is for a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home. The home is about 3,000 square foot on average with a lot size of 18,000 square feet. Now this comes out to about $916 per square foot. Now, why is this so important? This is important because when you're looking at the beach cities, you are getting, again, so much more bang for your buck. So let's compare apples to apples. In the last 6 months, single family prices in the beach cities, Redondo Beach, Hermosa Beach, Manhattan Beach, and El Segundo. Average sales price, 2.8. So we're already up. 4-bedroom, 3-bath home, that's the same. Average size, 2,350 square feet. So smaller house. And the lot size, this is the real ringer, 4,800 square foot. So you're paying more for a smaller home, a much smaller lot, and average price per square foot, $1,255. So that is, to me, the biggest reason why people end up moving to PV, especially if they already live here in the South Bay. Again, more bang for your buck, bigger house, bigger yard. Number 2. Top-rated public school district. Now, this is huge, especially if you're coming from out of the area where you have to pay for private schools. The Palos Verdes Peninsula Unified School District is one of the top-rated districts in the state and nation. So according to niche.com, the entire district is rated as an A+. Now, still, all of these are based off niche.com. I know that there's some other sites that give ratings, but according to niche.com, the district's ranked number 13 out of 438 in the state of California. That's huge. There are 10 elementary schools, and all of them are ranked either an A or an A+. 3 middle schools, same thing, either an A or an A+. And there's 2 public high schools, and they are both ranked A+. Now, the other interesting thing that you should know is that as a resident of Palos Verdes, anywhere in PV, you are eligible to select your high school. So you get to choose whether you want to go to what we call Peninsula High School or PV High School. So that's another, I think, bonus that you get to choose which high school you want to attend. The other thing about the schools is the schools are really convenient. They're located throughout the peninsula. And so pretty much whichever neighborhood or city you choose to live in, there is going to be a school close to your home. Number 3 pro, views. So PV is located on a peninsula, so there's water surrounding it on 3 sides, but it's also a huge hill. I mean, it's just built like this, and everything is really built into this hill. So a lot of the cities have fantastic views. It also depends on where in that city you are, which areas. So PVE, Palos Verdes Estates, Lunada Bay has great Catalina views from a lot of the homes. Monte Malaga and Malaga Cove oftentimes have great city views like downtown LA, Los Angeles Basin, as well as Queen's Necklace, which is the view of the beach cities through Santa Monica all the way up to Malibu, that's known as the Queen's Necklace. Now, Rolling Hills Estates tends to be a little bit flatter, but some areas do have, again, city views. Sometimes there's peekaboo Queen's Necklace views, and then you have more views to the south of the Long Beach Harbor. Rolling Hills, it kind of takes up a big middle chunk of PV. So depending on where your home is located in Rolling Hills, you can have Queen's Necklace views, city views, Catalina views, Long Beach Harbor views. Sometimes homes have multiple views because Rolling Hills really is near the very top of the hill in a lot of areas. And lastly, RPV, Rancho Palos Verdes, typically you'll have some Catalina views, possibly some harbor views. Depending on your location, you could even maybe have some of those Los Angeles City Basin views. Number 4 pro of living in PV is it really has a small town feel. I guess this could be a con too. It just depends on how you're looking at it. Most neighborhoods are primarily residential. There's a very limited commercial in PV, and all of the commercial is isolated to really certain areas. So you tend to know your neighbors, a lot of cul-de-sacs, kids playing in the street. It's a much more of that suburb feel. And again, small town feel. You can't go anywhere without running into people you know after you've been here for a certain amount of time. Number, 5? Okay, activities and amenities. There's so much to do in PV, tons of outdoor activities. There are miles and miles of horse trails. There's tons of hiking trails. Biking, you can always see, especially on the weekends, there's people on the road bikes circling the hill because PV Drive goes around the entire peninsula. So people love to get on their bikes and ride that. There's multiple golf courses, there's tennis, paddleball courts, and there are a couple of little good surf spots as well. So if you like to be active and outdoors, PV is a really, really great option for you. All right, jumping into the cons of living on the PV Peninsula. So I would say one of the biggest reasons people decide to not move to PV is due to the fact that PV is extremely isolated. And if you are working out of the area, let's say downtown LA, maybe Orange County, the West Side, depending on where you are on the peninsula, that drive can really add up and be a reason why you choose to not live in PV. I also see this a lot if someone's flying in and out of LAX often, they decide that drive to LAX can just be way too much for them. From, lower PVE area like Malaga Cove, Monte Malaga, to get into South Redondo Beach, you're looking at 5 to 10 minutes. Now, you are going all the way up to Manhattan, let's say, that's another, 20 to 30 without traffic. So to get to the 405, you're looking at 30 to 40 minutes easily. Again, this is not even like factoring in rush hour traffic. So that could be a big deterrent for somebody. Now, from Malaga Cove to Miralles, I would say those are kind of opposite sides of the hill, PV Hill, we call it. So drive time from there, you're looking at 20 to 30 minutes to go from the front to the back of the hill. Again, Miralles, the back side of the hill, we call it. So you're looking to get to Redondo Beach, that's gonna take you possibly 30 minutes without traffic. To get to the 405, it could be a minimum, I would say, of 40 to 45 minutes. So that's quite a commute from that back RPV side, Miralles area. Now, however, from that back side of the hill, the Miralles side, to get to the 110 freeway, that can be pretty quick actually, maybe 10 to 15 minutes depending on where you're located. So if you're commuting to downtown LA, Miralles or RPV may not be a bad option for you. Again, this just depends on where exactly the home is located. Con number 2. I talked in the beginning about prices being better than the beach cities, the South Bay beach cities, but when you look at other coastal towns in Southern California, PV is still priced really high. Let's look at Huntington Beach, which is in Orange County. Average sales price the last 6 months for a single family home, $1.55. That's for a 4-bed, 3-bath. That's $733 a square foot. Now, when we go back to what the PV prices were, we were looking at $2.65, $916 a square foot. So this is a big difference, much more affordable to be in Huntington Beach. Let's go down to San Diego, Carlsbad area. Average sales price $1.8 million for a 4-bed, 3-bath. We're at $711 square foot. So again, while PV is much more affordable than the South Bay beach cities, it still is pricey overall. And if you are looking to purchase a home, that is less, or you want a bigger house for less, whatever it is, I would say you might want to be considering places like Orange County and San Diego. Con number 3, limited beach access. So PV is a peninsula. However, I said earlier, it's a hill, so there's a lot of bluffs and cliffs. There is very limited beach access. You have Malaga Cove. It's a pretty rocky beach. It's not a soft sand beach, and there's a little bit of a hike down. Same thing with Lunada Bay, also in Palos Verdes Estates. Rocky, it's quite a hike to get down to those beaches, and they're not soft sand beaches. There is a private beach club at the Portuguese Bend Beach Club. This is a gated community on the water. It does have a soft sand beach, but it is a private community. You do have the ability to possibly join the beach club even if you don't reside there. Last time I checked, there was a wait list, but it's something that you could consider if you want to live in PV and have beach access close to your home. Otherwise, you're going to want to head down to Rat Beach, which is in Torrance, or down to any of the beaches in Redondo Beach. Those will be your closest beaches to access if you live in PV. Now, last con, kind of ties into everything, I would say. There is not a lot of walkability in PV, and I would say this is another big reason why people choose to maybe select the beach cities instead. If you are looking for the culture where you can walk to dinner, walk to the beach, maybe even walk over to a friend's house, walk to the grocery store, PV really isn't the best option for that. There are some neighborhoods where this is possible, but overall, I would say walkability tends to be extremely limited in PV. And if you're really looking for that feel, you're gonna be better off looking at the beach cities. So that is it. This was my full pro and con list for the entire Palos Verdes Peninsula. I would love to hear what your favorite thing about PV is, or hey, maybe even your favorite con. Add it to the comments. Be super interested to see. And again, thanks so much for checking out my video.